Howdy folks, how are y'all doing? My name is Reese, welcome back to our Tekkit 2 Let's Play Adventure, yet another mini-sode. Reminder, I have not yet seen the comments from the last video, but I am looking forward to them. We need to, apparently, cook some of that up? What? Oh. That's a problem. I'm gonna have to do something about that. At the moment, I don't really have anywhere to store all of that, so I just won't worry about it. I was going to, this episode, and I still plan on it, I was going to go ahead and I'd made the decision, gosh, I'm just rambling, I'm not saying words, we're gonna do stuff with the nuclear reactor, we're gonna try out some of your recommended designs, and the reason I'm stuttering right now is because I realized I meant to change the color down there of those lamps, and I figured I'd go ahead and do that now, but, you know, like at the start of the episode for some reason, I really didn't think this through at all. I should have waited till I was done before I hit the record button, and I don't know why I'm still talking, because at this point you're literally just watching me make glass panes and things of that nature, and I wish, you know what? This is not a project table. That's not going to work. It's not going to automatically pull things out of my inventory. That's a bit annoying. So I guess there is still some reason for us to come over here, and oh my gosh, are you kidding me? This is the most, okay. There we go. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop talking. 16 isn't even enough. As I was saying, I've gotten a couple of different recommendations for other reactor designs to test, and we're going to be doing that today. We're going to need to build an EU reader so that we can determine, first off, how much power our reactor is producing, and then compare and contrast with other reactors, which in fact, I don't even think ours is running right now. It should probably be running if we're going to do a test like that. I don't have enough uranium. Maybe we can get risky. Maybe we can get risky, and then maybe right up here in the middle or something we can stick a 2, and then, or maybe like right there, and then we'll put another one over here, and then we'll turn it on. We'll see how that goes. Probably terribly. It's probably going to melt something, but I don't think it'll do it so quickly that... That's going... I don't think it's going to do it so quickly that we'll actually lose components. By the way, MFSU. I am sorry. Apparently I've been misspeaking and calling it an MSFU a couple of times. Listen, that's going to happen. I'm just going to go ahead and prep you. I'm going to call this a transmutation table from time to time, even though it's very clearly a tablet. Just a heads up, but I'm going to do my best. Boy, these things take a long time to break. I need to find a better tool for this. This... Is that better? It feels better, but maybe just because I'm used to using this. They are the same. Look at these and tell me they're the same. Because it feels like this one's faster. It's definitely not, right? It's also really annoying to listen to. There's probably a Project Red wrench of some kind that can be used to take these down better. Hashtag's not the right approach. Huh. Okay, that's weird. I'm actually on the wiki, and it doesn't mention anything about any particular tool being able to break them faster. In fact, it even says specifically that any tool can break them, which means we could probably just punch them with our bare fist. Wouldn't it be funny if that made them pick up faster? It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. There we go. And if we step outside, oh yeah. Oh yeah, so these are the lime lamps, and this feels way more nuclear already. Just throw those in there with the chicken that are not Carl related, I promise. How are we doing? Yeah, look, that's not damaging anything. That's probably outputting a pretty good bit of power here to our MFSU. Let's find out how much, though. So to do that, we're going to build an EU reader. And if I put a space in there, it's actually going to come up with the object that we're looking for. Very simple and straightforward recipe. You can also trade 5 emeralds to a villager for it, if you can find one. We only ever found that one village. I did promise to go rebuild, you know, and give back some of the things that we took from them. I should probably do that at some point. So I've come up here to build it, even though I really genuinely just don't have to. We could do it just as easily from right here. If we find out what we need. Oh, you know what, though? We do have some of those objects already. So we have the 4 copper cables. And then we probably have... No, actually, I think we used them all last time, didn't we? We used all of our electronic circuits. Well, in that case, we'll need 6 more of these. one of these, which we've got too many of. I need to figure out something to do about that. Do we have any type of dense storage, like barrels or anything of that nature? Let me know. I mean, obviously I can type in, you know, barrel myself and see what we come up with. There's a lot of barrels, but I don't know anything about these. Booze barrel! Oh my gosh. Something tells me these aren't going to be holding obscene amounts of storage, considering how basic the recipe is. No drawers either. We need some way to store a large quantity of items. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I'll have to do more research. But until then, EU Reader. I've got to say, it is much more satisfying and much more straightforward to build inside of the project bench than it is to build inside of the Philosopher's Stone. That's actually a bit of a pain. Maybe we should carry around a project bench with us. That's actually a brilliant idea. Doesn't the project bench even have... Hold on, how many of these did I need? Just one? Doesn't it have an EMC value? I'm pretty sure that it did. I'm almost positive that it did when we first built it. It does not now, but I mean that's relatively easy to work out. What was the recipe here? It wasn't that. Was it this? Yes, it was. EU Reader. Alright, we'll worry about building another project bench here in a minute. For right now, I'm assuming, check on this, everything's still fine. I think we could have gotten away with using dual uranium cells in more places than just here and here. Probably this entire time. But the MFSU is currently filling up. Now, if we have a look at this in our inventory, if we hold down Control, B switches between EU Reader modes, and then Shift, keeping this in the hotbar will unlock tooltips on other item tooltips. Guis and Wela 1 probe. How does that work? What does that even mean? So, capabilities measuring, total emitted measuring. So I'm holding down B right now, sorry. Holding down B and right-clicking. Packet measuring, total packets measuring, source path renderer, which I guess maybe shows us sync path renderer, source path area, sync path area, average measuring. That sounds like what we want. So we're going to go with that, and we're going to go here and just going to right-click. Starting new measurement. Right-click again, maybe? 145 in, 145 out, 0 gain, average over 133 ticks. So does that mean we're producing 144? We're going to do it again. About 140? See, I'm clearly not doing this correctly. Let's cycle to a different mode. Alright, I'm on the wiki. So the average measuring mode allows you to see how much EU flows through a cable or a generator to a machine. The average is calculated over time. Good to know. Capabilities measuring allows you to see the capabilities on the varying machines, cables, generators, energy storage units, etc. So it'll give you the max input, max transfer rate, energy loss, and energy provided. The total emitted measuring mode shows you the total flow of energy through a machine, cable, generator, energy storage unit since placed. So not what we need right now. Packet measuring shows you how many energy packets are flowing through a cable and how much energy these packets contain. The total packets measuring mode shows you how much energy packets flowed through a cable since placed. Not helpful. Source path renderer. The source path renderer gives you a visual representation of how energy is flowing from source to sink, which is cool, and then sync path does the same thing, I guess, but the other way. So it kind of feels like average measuring is going to be our best bet here. So this is currently filling up, meaning we should be getting a pretty consistent flow out of here into here, and I guess maybe, should we check it here? 145 in, 145 out. That seems to be what we're producing, right around in that range. And I don't think that the HV transformer is really affecting it in any way. So starting new measurement, we're going to wait a hot minute here. About 145 is what we're producing. All right, time to start testing some alternatives. Get me out of here. Ugh. So one thing I was just trying to figure out as I read through the wiki was whether or not the nuclear reactor produces more power the hotter it gets, up to a point, if maybe there was some sort of sweet spot we wanted to hit before we did our measurements, but it was running for a while there, and it was pretty consistent on the 145, so I don't know. Anyway, I've got up a couple of recipes from a couple of viewers. So one is from GaberTube HD, who's given me a recipe that requires overclocked heat vents as well as component heat vents. This is a slightly more complicated one, so I figured we would test it first. I don't really know how many of each of these components we'll need. Oh, it also uses the quad fuel cells, which we have built and have right here. Now, I have filled up my inventory in spite of the fact that the reactor is still full, and we've got to go empty it before we do anything. It is off, right? Yeah. Yeah, okay, we're good. So, theirs is a repeating recipe, and I'm going to clear away quite a bit of space here so that we can see what we're doing. So the way that they recommend doing it is we have the first spot empty, and then in 2, 4, 6, 8, we have the overclocked heat vents. Then we have component heat vents in 3, 7, and then a quad uranium cell right there. And then we just pattern that all the way around the reactor. And this will allegedly produce 360 EU per tick. Oh, we can click directly on the reactor instead of the cable coming out of it. Well, that's useless right now, owing to the fact that, you know, I've dismantled it and shut it down. I'm sure if we wanted to, we could put something in these slots. I don't think they have to be empty. I think the idea is that they can be. So amazingly, we almost have everything that we need for this design, and the one thing that we are apparently missing is it looks like we need one more component heat vent. Did I miss one? Remember, I didn't build any of this for this recipe. These are just objects that we already had from a previous attempt. So I need to go build one more component heat vent to give this a proper test. Now, we could... I don't know what a heat exchanger does. I can't remember what... I think these just contain it if it explodes or whatever. I guess we could go ahead and just throw those in there, because there's empty slots. But I don't... They might not need to be filled. You know, no rush to do it. Now, fortunately, the component heat vent is one of the more simple items to build, requiring mostly, in terms of exotic materials, that is to say materials that can't be EMC'd, refined iron. Now we need iron bars and tin as well, off the top of my head, and that's actually it. We can go ahead, and when I say iron bars, I mean iron bars, not like ingots of iron, not iron. You know what I meant. So we need to make some basic heat vents here. Then I don't know why I'm making multiples of these. We don't need multiples of them. I've done it though. You can't stop me! I'm a madman! There's no rhyme or reason to my actions! I think that is everything that we need to get this design, again, from GamerTube HD up and running. So we're going to click it on, and then keep a very close eye on it to make sure that it doesn't just immediately blow up. And so far, everything seems fine. So far, nothing has exploded. So again, we were promised somewhere in the neighborhood of 360 EU per tick on this particular design, which is a fun time, assuming it is accurate and sustainable. EMC is going... I'm sorry, not EMC. EU per tick is what I should say. 360 EU per tick. I've probably said that multiple times in this video. I've probably said it wrong. I'd like to take a moment to apologize to all of you. Yeah, you'll get over it. So let's go ahead and take our EU reader, and I guess we'll right-click on here. 0 out, or 0 in, 53 out, negative 53 gain, average over... you know what? It was off for a really long time, so we'll check it out now. 320 out, 320 out, 320 out, pretty consistently. We'll start measuring from here now. The reason our numbers were messed up at the beginning there is because it averaged over that entire time that the machine was not running as well. So yeah, about 320, so not quite the 360 we were hoping for, but it's also possible that things change over time, and that's fine. Oh! That is a dual uranium cell. That is on me. I'm a silly boy, and I've made a mistake. Where are the quad cells? Is it safe to just pull that out of there while the machine is running? Yes? I guess? And if we check it now, we actually need to probably start ticking from over here instead. 361.41. Okay, well... yeah, 360. There we go. It's exactly as promised. And I know it's not going to overheat, and I'll tell you how I know. This overclocked vent, each one of these has one overclocked vent that hasn't even been touched. It's not taken any damage at all. It would if there was extra heat for it to siphon off, but it simply is not, because there is not extra heat. So that does make me ask the question of, well, can we push it a bit further? You know, if we have these here, what if I put, like, I mean, let's just say I took a dual uranium cell and I sat it there. What impact would that have? Oh. Ooh. So that one did take a bit of a hit. They both did. We don't want to do that. Never mind then. Awesome, though. It's really churning through these. So we went from earlier with our previous design, about 145 per tick, or somewhere in that neighborhood, to 360. That's a big, big upgrade. It might require that we build ourselves some more MFSUs to store all this crazy power we're getting. Or we just start using it, you know? Maybe turn on the UU Matter machine again. Don't know if we're going to be using these. In fact, we might. We might, because here's the deal, right? Even though we have this system and it works, and it can produce a lot of energy, if we're not actively using it, we're kind of just wasting uranium. These are damaged, by the way, because, I mean, I could turn the machine off and back on, and they would heal up real quick. And then we can turn it back on. They're just still sustained damage. They didn't take any more after we took the dual cells out. Anyway, what I was saying is it's kind of a waste of EU once the MFSU fills up. We could swap these out with single cells and just have like a bit of a trickle power coming out of here, and these overclocked heat vents and component vents would more than, you know, sustain it. And if we wanted to be extra safe unnecessarily, I assume we could go ahead and throw these in here, but I'm not going to worry about that. I mean, if we wanted to, we could probably throw these advanced heat vents in there, just to take up the space. Not that they would accomplish anything where they're at, but we could. So another recommendation we got was from Camthrill, who recommended filling the bottom row, not the entire bottom row, but from here to here, with packed ice, and then the rest of it with an undetermined amount of uranium cells. I mean, obviously fill the whole thing with it, but like quad cells, dual cells, single cells, no idea. There's no promise of how much power it'll produce, but I am kind of curious about it. Building one of these requires that we have a compressor and ice requires that we have... Oh, we can make it ourselves. Oh, but then how would we collect it? Snowball. I think we actually... Don't we have a snowball? No. A ring of Arcana or a zero ring. Both of those would get the job done. I'm sort of intimidated by that, though. So I don't know if I want to test it here, because what if this is an epic troll? Well, I've got bad news for you. I'm in my super flat test world, where I successfully did a nuke the other day. That's a video for later. Packed ice will not go into the nuclear reactor, I'm sorry to say, and in fact, I don't know if regular ice will either. It might be that that's something that you could do in Tekkit Classic, and maybe it's changed since then. Yeah, we can't get ice in there, I'm sorry to say. That's a shame. I was sort of hoping to test that, and then put quad cells in there and have it fail spectacularly and get a big explosion. Well, I mean, I guess we could still do that. Okay, we've relocated to a village full of wonderful individuals who I'm sure are very excited to see this scientific test take place in their town. I don't even think quad uranium cells are the best we can get. As I was looking through here, I realized there are a lot of different quad cells. Charcoal-enriched quad uranium cells, and nether star-enriched quad uranium cells. I need to figure out what the enrichment process does. Let's go ahead and... Well, that was instantaneous. Wow. I didn't even get to check the output. Geez, that just kind of happened immediately. Wowzers. What is this? Oh, it's hops. Okay, well. Don't do that, I guess. So enriching your fuel cells, we're back here, by the way, and I'm just reading on the wiki. Essentially, it causes them to produce more EU per tick, as well as more heat per tick, and more neutrons per tick, depending on which ones you use. One thing I'm confused by here is it says that a quad uranium cell produces 60 EU per tick, 96 heat per tick, and 4 neutrons, whereas the Ender Pearl enriched quad uranium cell produces 60 EU per tick, 69 heat per tick, and 4 neutrons, which is exactly the same? Why enrich it? What would the point be? Comment down below if you know. I know I'm just asking you folks to explain these basic concepts to me like I don't know what's going on, but that's mostly because I don't know what's going on, you know? I mean, I have a wiki same as all you, but when I read the wiki and it says these two items do the same thing, but one requires extra steps. I have to ask myself, then what would the advantage be? And I'm here to tell you there probably is one, and I just don't know what it is. We can turn this back on for now, and it'll start consuming scrap and producing more UU matter, and this will continue its operation of producing scrap. Hopefully this maintains. I mean, this is so full right now, I'm not too worried about it. Where's our chicken? Where's Carl? Why has he vanished? Where has he gone? Can I tell you what my concern is? Can I be honest with all of you? I'm worried that Carl might have drowned. Because the last time I saw him was when I was building these. And then I don't think I've seen him since. And I'm worried he might have gone for a little bath and realized he's a chicken, not a duck. That, or he somehow fell down there and is at the bottom of the chute with the power, but that doesn't seem likely. Or even was that right here? Wow, I got it in the first try. Carl! We should probably put a door there, now that I think about it. Oh, you know what? We can just do that. We can do that right now. Hold on. Look at this. We can grab a reinforced framed door. Take both of those away. Plop that sucker down. And then put those back. And now we have hidden access to our pipe tube here. No sign of a chicken, though. Well, this reactor is handling the UU matter much, much better. It's definitely, I mean, sure, it's still draining. You know, we're not producing enough power to keep it, you know, running and produce energy. But, I mean, that's okay. Wait, did Carl follow me in here? I might have left that door open. He might have come through here. Carl? Carl, you're not in here, are you? Carl! How would Carl get into the nuclear basement? Wait a minute, no, he's not down here. It doesn't even make sense. Well, thank you folks for watching. God bless each and every one of you. I'm glad we've made this little bit of there's a little bit of progress, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!